We believe that we have a revelation from the Creator who knows the full data set of information, knew if it came and it was updated. The point is we don't need to. Why? Why is that? Because Allah in His wisdom, He gave us a religion, because there's many revelations before the Quran, yeah?
Speculate on the afterlife when there's so much suffering going on here.
Give one to Brother Najmi.
And heaven and hell in certain ways. I only reference the Bible because I know it better. Heaven
Okay,
and hell is on the earth here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Why do you need to speculate on on the afterlife?
Yeah, good.
And doesn't that take any religious or any doctrine in the world to the extreme once you're speculating and then creating an answer for the unknown?
Yeah, okay, good question, yeah. So I'd say that I get why you're seeing it this way. However, I'd flip it back on you. We'd say that either atheists or agnostics or materialists or physicalists, like people who just believe in the material world, they're the ones who are speculating because we believe that we have a revelation from the Creator who knows the full data set of information, which we have the pixel, the Creator has the image. So if the Creator tells us that there's an afterlife, we can't speculate that there isn't one. So we believe that the person who rejects the message, I'm not saying that's you because you might have never even come across it, you might have never read it, you might have never analyzed or critically checked it out.
Yeah.
So, but the person who rejects something after they've come to see it, that it's reasonable, rational, true, this is what we would call in Islam a kafir, somebody who conceals the truth.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are speculating against reason. That's what we would say.
Well,
yeah.
I get that argument. At the same time, you have to, the burden of proof is on those with an agenda or with a belief system.
Yeah, agreed.
And so, as much as you can turn it around and argue against secularism, I'm not actually secularist at all. I do.
You're not sorry?
I don't believe in secularism necessarily.
No, I didn't say secular. Atheism or physicalism
Atheist,
or agnostic. Okay, you're not an atheist. Okay, brilliant. Alhamdulillah.
I was Christian, I was baptized and confirmed with the Catholic Church, and I have a place for religion, but I don't see it going beyond life on this planet.
Yeah.
And I don't see why people want, or even if the doctrines say it does, why they're so willing to believe in the unknown and take this faith to the extreme. And I think that's a big reason why people at home hear religious prophets, religious speakers, and lose faith. Just listening to them, because it is extreme and it is insane in my view to go out there on a limb and say that we don't have enough suffering on the world here to fix. There isn't death here, darkness here, devilry on this world. We can't fix it now, and we have to look at a really, really old, out-of-date piece of parchment to guide us and give us our...
I got you. I want to tackle a few of them. You threw so much at me.
One more. Here's one.
Yeah, go on.
Is that if there was a new book that was suggested, right, that fit the boxes that you would have to tick.
Yeah, what's normative today.
Yeah. That you would accept, right, based on certain predispositions.
You're saying if there was a new...
Would you accept something that was more up-to-date? Reformation?
Yeah, okay, so if you have a lot of stuff there. So first you said to us about the, what's it called? The burden of proof.
Yeah.
So we would agree about the principle, but we probably disagree on the way you're thinking about applying it. So, of course, religious people have a burden of proof.
Yeah.
However, atheists also have a burden of proof.
Yeah.
Because atheists, just like religious people, have a positive claim. I mean, that's not you. You've already said you're not an atheist. You're looking or interested or whatever it is in either side. But the point is an atheist has to prove that God does not exist.
Yeah.
And the theist has to prove that the God that they believe in exists, right? So that's the first thing about the burden of proof. The second thing I think you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you mentioned something about the there being... Sorry, what was the second thing you mentioned? So I don't want to miss, because it's like 5 things you mentioned. I know like the last 3...
The second one.
Okay, I can't remember the second one. Maybe I'll remember it in a second. But you mentioned about the updated book. About, before that, why are we speculating about, afterlife and stuff like this? Again, I could see why you say that, because for you don't have a knowledge set that tells you otherwise.
Well, I do.
So,
I could read the Quran or the Bible and realize that we're born into sin.
No, but we don't believe we're born into sin.
No, but I'm saying I could understand how religions, they rationalize it after reading the book. I get why you believe it's there, but just based on rationality, I could read a fairy tale and believe it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That doesn't mean that...
No, but that's the point, is that do we believe the Quran in the same way that I could go and believe a fiction novel?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the question.
The set of determinants aren't objective enough. They're
Why not?
Because you could read that book and you could think one way or you could think another way.
I disagree. I mean, no, but you could do that about anything, even the most objective things about science. Are there people that think that the Earth is flat?
They do.
Okay, is it objectively true that the Earth is not flat? And there's a lot, enormous amount of scientific observation, not just theory, observation, that goes into proving that the Earth is not flat.
True,
okay, so difference of opinion does not make something subjective.
No, but at least you're running past science when you make that decision.
Yeah, sure. And do you know
you're running past doctrine, literary doctrine.
Yeah, but
it was written years ago by someone you don't really know.
I agree. Okay, but if scientific findings are written years ago, would that make them like our truth claims or our what's it called, rational, claims or sentences or whatever you want? It does have an expiry date.
I think that laws and morality updates, and society updates laws as it goes.
Yeah.
So your question: does society update?
Yeah. No, that's not about my question. Because what you just described to me is not morality updating. It's just the whims and desires of people updating. Yeah, that's fine.
But
back in the days, people desired. No, not necessarily. I mean, back in the days, we didn't kill people with atomic bombs. Now we do. So like how? We mean Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 300,000 people.
We did twice and it stopped mass killing.
I mean, we don't know that. First of all, it didn't stop mass killing. Because since then, how many thousands? I mean, just Iraq. The point is that we kill people. I understand. Of course you don't. You're a rational person. I don't think you would. There's a huge argument about whether we've progressed morally as a society or not. That's not the point. The point is that maybe even we have progressed in some areas, but we've definitely regressed in some other areas. The point is that just like in the same way that you today think that you're the most moral version of yourself, 20 years down the road, or maybe more moral than people 30 years ago, let's say, in 30 years, your grandkids will be calling you that, problematic grandpa. You know what I mean? So it's.
I should update, just like the Quran maybe should update.
Okay, but what if it updates into something that you think is insane? In the same way that, religious people think that some things that are happening now are insane.
Well, I think there's a place for religion, but I wouldn't say that it goes beyond the realms of reality.
Think about it this way. I don't want to, because that's going on a different tangent, but I want to stick to this. There's now a movement that's taking, like the love is love mantra, right? Like love is love, like, everybody should be able to get married to whoever they want, da 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 da. So 20 years ago, I think in this country, wasn't allowed to get married to another man if you're a man, right? There's already now movements in different countries that are trying to put forward the same principles that got, the LGBTQ movement rolling with MAPs, minor attracted persons, with bestiality, which already happened in Spain. And so like the same principles are being evolved into more what we would say as Muslims, degeneracy. So, and sexual immorality. This is just one area. That's not, we're indifferent. There's many areas that you could apply this to. Well, the point is that you will not be able to do what you're asking of me once you hit something that you're uncomfortable with. The difference is, for you, it's about a personal discomfort and like what you grew up with, bestiality being something that's disgusting. However, in 30 years down the road, if people did not grow up that way, they will try to enforce that on you, and then you'll be like, oh, that's like crazy and insane. Well, the difference is you're doing that off of like intuition and whims and desires. We're saying that we have a knowledge set from the creator and a morality that's grounded in the objective.
I admire that you have a set of morals that you follow.
They're not unchanged. Like, I want to tell you though, because you said to me about how would you accept something new if it came and it was updated. The point is we don't need to. Why? Why is that? Because Allah in His wisdom, He gave us a religion. Because there's many revelations before the Quran, yeah. So the Quran was meant to be the final revelation, and the point is to preserve it to the end of time because it is the final revelation, and because Allah expects that this revelation is going to be over a long period of time. In His wisdom, there are the moral axioms in Islam are so malleable and are so applicable that I, as the 21st century man, could participate morally and to my advantage. At the same time, somebody in 6th, 7th century could do the exact same thing. It fits his circumstances and mine. So Islam is not rigid, actually.
I disagree. I disagree with a lot that's in there, but I agree with it. right?
Okay, fantastic. But based on what do you agree and disagree is the question.
Yeah, and this is the point, is that I think you have to, when you evolve, when people evolve, take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And yes, you happen to mention the bad sides of modern society, Western society. I think that the pros of Western society far outweigh the cons.
I mean, we didn't say that Western society is some, evil, you can't take anything good from it. So of course not.
Didn't say that.
Yeah.
You also happen to highlight the negatives.
No, I did highlight, but I also live here. So I also must think that there's good to be had here, right?
We also believe in democracy. And with democracy comes law.
We don't.
You don't?
Yeah, we don't believe in democracy.
Right.
No, it's not, we don't think it's a good way of governance, and it's not something that just Islam, purports or promotes. It's something that, many Western philosophers have disagreed. Like democracy creates...
That's a whole nother
it's a whole other debate, but the point is going, yeah.
But England does, right?
Yeah, sure,
and,
yes.
And so does the Western world generally.
Yeah, sure.
And through that...
An image of it,
we have put our faith not in one doctrine.
Yeah, in the Constitution, of course.
No, beyond the Constitution, in freedom and in people's choices.
But that's a doctrine. It's called the doctrine of liberalism.
It is to an extent.
It's maximizing personal individual freedoms, insofar as it doesn't, basically the
Declaration of Independence came in. That was against Britain, right? So are you from America or Canada?
I'm Canadian.
Canadian, okay. So we were in Canada for even longer than Brits, right?
Yeah.
And you based your parliament around our state.
Yeah, of course. We share common law and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
so
of
we were
course.
an aristocracy for a long time.
Yeah.
That's autocracy, right? In a certain way,
Yeah.
it's aristocracy. It's a power structure. We have embraced democracy in this country from the people up.
Sure.
And what we've arrived at is a place of freedom and liberty where people can wear dresses or whatever you said.
I agree, but you also, what you've also arrived at.
But then we can also accept that there are more freedoms than some states like Saudi Arabia.
No, but that's, I've lived in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, you may.
So, you might, what? Listen, I was gonna say, I'm giving you a heads up because if you do say something that, if you want to make sure if you say something about Saudi, you know it.
No,
good, alhamdulillah, good. I'm glad. But the point is that the level of freedom that this country has allowed for has clearly resulted in degeneracy, and not just one way that I described. I'll give you an example. No, it's not my judgment. I'll give you one that you'll agree with. No, I'm not focusing on the negative. I'm saying that obviously personal freedom has some value, correct? We agree, right?
Absolutely.
In Islam allows a level of personal freedom. Liberalism allows a level of personal freedom. What we disagree on is the level of personal freedom. See, the level of personal freedom that's allowed in the UK or in Western countries has produced what? Alcoholism, homelessness, no social safety nets, incredible income disparity.
So in communist Russia.
No, but we don't believe that. Well, first of all,
there was a lot of alcoholism, right?
Yeah, but communist Russia is not Islam. But Islam, the whole point is that Islam.
You're talking about freedom.
Yeah, but Islam, what does Islam say about alcohol? It prohibits it.
Freedom correlating with alcohol intake, right? So
this government has allowed and encouraged and allowed advertising and supported the institutions that promote alcohol, correct or not, right?
Well, of course, yeah.
Yes, of course. So in fact, they allow it in front of kids, and et cetera, in public life, et cetera. It's a core part of British life. On the other hand, in Saudi Arabia, let's say for example,
on the same side,
let me do the comparison, and then you could do. No. That's actually I actually disagree with that. Actually, let me tell you why I disagree with that. If you talk to British women that went to Qatar for the World Cup, they
do you think Qatar was reflective?
Of course, why wouldn't it be?
It wasn't a show.
No, of course not. It's people. They could only do. Okay, you know what's funny about sports washing? The people who wrote the book on sports washing are Westerners, because. So whose sports washing was it that the East is supposedly copying? It's the people that did the world wars. It's the people that colonialized the world, that did slavery. All of them came up with the Premier League, Wimbledon, etc., etc. So they're the ones that are kings of sports washing, and now they're throwing stones from a glass house in the Middle East for supposedly doing a minor version of what they're doing. I'm not here to defend the Middle East governments. Yeah, that's not my issue. The point is that if you ask Western women who went to the World Cup, you ask Latin American women who went to the World Cup, I've never seen an account of a woman not saying this, that they enjoyed an insane, unprecedented level of protection and freedom and a lack of harassment, a ability to feel safe that they've never felt in their home countries. Why is that? Because there's restrictions on freedom for men and women in these countries that allow for a more safe society.
Not a liberal society.
Yeah, but that's the point. But that's exactly the point. For you, the standard of a good society is a liberal, is how much does it conform to liberalism.
Yeah.
My standard of a good society is not that.
It's not safety though. Safety is a conservative value, you know, and I think there's place for safety, of course, and you can take precautions to make women feel more safe in all sorts of ways. I just think that there are retrograde steps you can take and there are progressive steps.
Okay, I'll give you an example. You as a person, can you ever become an alcoholic in this country? Is there not even a high chance, is there a probable chance that you could? Yeah, right? Because your government promotes it. Since you're a kid, you've seen probably your family, all your friends drink it. It's promoted in your culture and in your media. And then in football, wherever you go, you have to drink beer, you have to drink alcohol and stuff. And you're only then a few steps away from alcoholism. If you were a kid growing up in the Middle East, you've never seen, or let's say not the Middle East, because some places have alcohol. If you're in Saudi Arabia, you've never seen a bottle of alcohol in your life. In your media, you never see people drinking alcohol. In your stadiums and in your media events and in your whatever gatherings, there's no alcohol. How much more likely that this person is never in their life, it's almost guaranteed that they can never become alcoholic.
Focus on the issues in Western
So the point is even from your side, because you came to me talking about the material world, right? You came to me saying like, why focus about the afterlife?
Yeah.
But see what's happening here. Now I'm the one telling you that as a Muslim, I'm the one who is incredibly focused about making sure that the material conditions and the
in your way. And I'm suggesting,
no, of course, but I'm going about it in my way, but the end product impacts both me and you. So I'm actually more interested than the average Western liberal person because they're so apathetic because of how bad their societies have become.
Well, that's your judgment.
No, it's not my judgment. If you talk to people, they feel their governments doesn't represent them.
The Western societies have gone wrong.
Okay, do you feel that your democracies are representative democracies?
They are more representative democracies than an autocracy or an aristocracy, for sure.
But I would push back on you and tell you that your representative democracy is only one in name. You guys have oligopolies, all of you in the West. They're all oligopolies.
But
you guys have lobbyists that basically push forward special interests in your government. Your politicians are all bought off. Nothing. I never talked to a British person that told me I wanted.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's pseudo democracy. Real democracy has other problems, but the point is, even the West doesn't have real democracy.
More transparency, there'd be more democracy, and that would mean better things. More equality.
Sure, that might be true.
Actually, by taking away democracy. Right,
no, but then actual democracy has problems.
Right, but capitalism, or you were pro autocracy, pro-leadership from centralized leadership, right?
Not necessarily. We have a concept of shura. No. I never said I'll talk. No. I was giving you. We were comparing different things.
Okay.
In Islam, we have a concept of shura, which takes into consideration.
Earlier in the debate, you did say, if I recall correctly, you did say that you weren't pro-democracy.
I wasn't pro, but I never said. Exactly.
Right.
But I never said I'm pro-autocracy.
Fine.
That's my point.
Fine.
Big difference.
But by removing, you were talking about, companies being bailed out or lobbyists.
The point is, you have a 1% class that controls the outcome of everything that goes on in politics.
But that's not democracy, is it?
No. But the point is that you guys claim it is. That's the point.
You weren't pro-democracy. You were. I would argue that those issues are.
I think in this point you're assuming something that he's not. The point
anyway,
is you are saying.
Point anyway.
You are saying.
No, but let the brother comment.
You are not pro-democracy, meaning you are the autocracy. It doesn't go. It doesn't go. Maybe someone can be liberal in different way than democracy.
No, it's not like.
You see, someone can be liberal.
No, it's just
someone can be communist. Someone can be communist, not going with the democracy. But my question is this: from your discussion, guys, what's your objective reason to denying the Quran or to denying the objective truth that we have? What's your objective reasoning to denying this?
I don't think someone should deny it, right, or accept it. That's totally down to their freedom, right, in a free society.
I mean, we agree on that. We're not. Did I come and tell you? You have to. We're forcing you to think.
But in certain states,
Where?
States, I don't know, but there has through history been places.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, in history, here in England, that's what they used to do. They used to burn people at the stake.
Hard pressed to find a winning argument that would argue.
How do you define
wait.
That would argue that.
Go on.
that here in this country, right now.
No, not right now. I'm saying just.
Then in a religious state.
No. Okay, how about this?
Anyway, we keep going on a.
No, we don't need to compare with governments. We don't need to compare with governments. My only point is that your ideas about freedom and all that, like your standard is liberalism and maximizing individual freedoms. But you came to us about telling us about why it's more important to not worry about the afterlife and focus about making this life good. You said there's so many evils that we need to fix.
Exactly.
Well, it's Muslims who are coming to tell you, that's the point. So we're telling you, as Muslims, we are more concerned than the average liberal person to fix issues. Let me tell you why. Because liberalism is all about maximizing individual freedoms insofar as, your freedom stops with your fist at my nose, basically. Like, as long as it doesn't hurt me, I don't worry. Exactly. So they're all about being apathetic about other people doing other things. We've had it at the park many times. Somebody will tell me incest is okay, as it's not affecting me, as long as they do it in the privacy of the thing, and then they're 18. Yeah, we have many people in the park saying it's very common. Atheists will usually defend this point because they're like, oh, listen, as long as you're consenting adults, if they want to have incest, it should be actually legal. Okay. Why do they do this? They're apathetic. The point is, Muslims, we're concerned. Yeah, I understand. I'm not saying it's you, but I'm saying as Muslims, we're not apathetic to social issues that actually impact the real world. We want to actually formulate societies that have a good, positive, outlook on the individual. So Islam's idea is it wants to protect the individual from society and the society from the individual, and the individual from themselves. Yeah, I agree, and I think our way is better. That's the point.
No, but I agree that we both want good, right? At the end of the day, we both want good over bad if we can, and we don't want to harm as many people. We want to harm the least people.
It depends on the harm. Yeah, we don't think harm is bad.
But the point is, you are taking the objective morality from divine book, right?
Yeah.
We think that we are taking objective morality from someone who knows everything. We said Allah is the alim al-ghayb. Allah knows everything.
Sure.
Alim. But what's the objective standard morality from where you take? We are taking from the Quran. From where you get?
Like, where do you derive your morals? Like, what, how you said we both want good. The difference is our good is different than your good.
Yeah.
So where do you get your good from?
I think that people have an innate instinct, for bad and for good. And I think that if you follow the good, generally that leads to good things, and it leads to harmony, peace, and security as well.
So what happens when somebody's interest collides with somebody else's interests?
Yeah, exactly. So this is the point. There should be laws. There should be a common.
Sure. So where do you get your idea of what are good laws and what are bad laws?
Laws are updated based on societies, and I think that if society has faith in itself, it will create its laws and abide by them.
So do you know why that's a problem? In Nazi Germany, there was a time where the economy was so bad that Hitler was able to convince people into laws that were incredibly heinous. So the point is that we can't rely on the flailings of society's desires and popular discourse.
There are also Islamic states that use.
I understand, but the difference. Let me show you why that's false equivalence. Let me tell you why that's falsely equivalent.
It's a human thing, not.
I understand. Let me tell you why that's falsely equivalent. We don't, as Muslims, take our law. We don't take morality from man-made laws.
Yeah.
So a government that has Muslim leaders could do laws that are completely wrong. No problem with that.
Yeah.
The difference is you told me, I'm like, where do you get your morals? You went back to intuitive.
No, I'm not questioning the morals of the Quran.
No, I know you're not. I'm talking about you, bro. Don't worry. I'm not. I'm asking you. Yeah. So you said, where do you get them? You're like, society generally comes to a consensus kind of. You basically said that, and they come and make these good laws.
Life, liberty, pursuit of
happiness. Sure. So that's what I'm saying.
In a rough way.
So the point is that these have led to terrible laws and immorality in excess throughout human history. And
also great freedom.
No, but this freedom again.
The fact that you're here speaking like this.
I can do this. I can do this anywhere. Why can't I do this? Yeah, of course I can. Of course. Okay, who's gonna? Okay, if I did this in Qatar, who's gonna chop my head off?
That's a whole different question. I said you can do this in any question, and now you're asking.
No, I'm saying. No. I'm just showing you that. Look, this idea that the only place that has freedom is the West is crazy.
It's not the only place, of
course.
There
fantastic.
are levels of freedom, and I would say that the Western world is one of the freest.
Yes, but is that a good thing? That's my point. The whole point about me talking to you. No, it's not, because what we've seen in the West is that Western people are free to become alcoholics. You're right. Western people are free to develop gambling addictions. Western people are free to have excess of 50% rates of divorce. Yeah. They're free to have all the social problems that they have, the rates of domestic abuse, etc.
Do you think there should be
do they have good stuff? Yes.
Okay.
Of course, of course the West has good stuff.
Age of legal age of consent. Do you think that's a rightful?
It depends on, because age of consent means different things in different societies and different laws.
Do you think laws should decree how old a woman is able to consent? At what age a woman is able to consent?
I think that there should be a minimum age of marriage. Yeah.
Okay. What about consent?
No, consent depends. If you mean outside of sex,
consent.
It depends, because if you're talking about outside of sex marriage, we completely reject that idea. We don't see that. Inside marriage, marriage is it's in marriage.
So if someone's married off at 14, you think they should be able to?
No, they can't get married at 14. That's the point.
They can't. Okay.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
I don't know enough about.
No, but Islam.
But I'm saying
Islam doesn't put
Islam doesn't put any
a specific age. It puts a criteria.
But there are pros and cons. My main point here is that there are pros and cons of everything, right? And we can't just focus on the negative.
No. Okay, I understand that. I'm not focusing.
But
look,
I'm drinking, gambling.
No, I'm not focusing. I'm telling you right now. I'm living here. This is proof. The fact that I live here. I'm telling you.
Hear me out.
Okay, go on.
Name me some positives.
Yes.
So I've got from you the negatives.
Yes, sure.
Gambling.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Divorce rates. What's it called?
So you've got a litany of them.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Yes, but the point is that I'm living here. I'll tell you some of the positives. Great. What's it called? Attention to natural. Natural parks and care for public transport.
Yeah.
There is a good emphasis on infrastructure, roads. Yeah, there's good stuff here. No doubt. Educational institutions, the best educational institutions you could dream of are in the
So you
West.
accept the
No
positive
problem.
shit?
Of course I do. I live here. Of course I have to see some good in living here, or else I wouldn't live here.
And I see some good in what you guys are doing and your religion, and I understand the morals behind it. Here's my question that I originally came to you for. This is it. Why do you need to completely include speculation and embrace the speculation?
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's you're superimposing your perspective on us. That's the
I am a
point.
little bit,
Yeah, you are.
I am.
We don't agree with
But as a
speculation.
human,
We
as a
think you're
human-
speculating. That's the point.
Right, but you're reading a story and trusting
Again,
the word.
you're
The
okay.
written
Fine.
word.
Okay.
I'm
What if I gave you?
trusting my senses.
If I gave you? No. Okay. You're
Beyond
trusting your. Can your
reading.
senses deceive you?
Of
Can you
course they
see
can.
things that don't actually exist?
Of course they can.
Okay. So senses aren't the. By the way, this is not
I think
Muslim
it's a bit
point.
irrational. If I'm not
No,
wrong,
it's not
to
irrational.
say-
The most.
to talk about the afterlife.
You know.
That's all.
No, okay, but that's based on a physicalist, materialist assumption
It is.
that you would have to defend.
It is. And people
It's a positive
more,
claim.
And people more extreme than me, more
Yeah.
secular than I am,
Yeah.
see religion and religious people, prophets,
Yeah.
whatever you guys are,
Sure.
as extremists for that fundamental.
Yeah. Who cares
reason.
what they see? Remember, you said I'm talking to you.
Right, but I'm religious as well to an extent.
Okay,
and
good.
And I see a lot of people falling by the wayside, not being able to understand
Yeah.
because of this. Because of,
So what? Should we change the truth so to make people that don't
maybe
want to
find a
understand
way of-
understand?
Maybe find a
Bro,
way
look.
of being more modern.
No,
and more-
let me
So
tell you something.
how
Yeah?
do
I'm gonna
understand
give you
the
something
modern?
that shocked you.
How
Yeah?
do
I'm
you
gonna tell you
understand
something that shocks you. This is actually the perspective
Maybe
in Islam,
find
bro.
God on earth around it. Maybe God's to do with the mind.
One second.
Internally.
Bro, I've
You
had
know, rather
people-
than it being exterior afterlife. Maybe it's in us as well. Who knows?
Bro, I've had people tell me to my face that they believe Islam is the truth. They believe it's the most logical way to live life, yet they won't become Muslims.
Right.
Why? They'll admit it. Why? Because they cannot stop themselves from following their desires, whether it's drinking, whether it's... So the point is, your idea of let's make religion easier for people to digest so that they become religious doesn't work.
So that there's more harmony. And
No.
there's-
But harmony isn't the end goal for us. We're not interested in just like harmony is not something that you just reach for, unilateral, like nothing else. It doesn't matter. Just harmony is the
You don't want
maximum.
to meet an understanding with your fellow man running this.
No, if my fellow man is Hitler, no. For example, do you see what I'm saying? Like there needs to be some undergirding principles or underpinnings that are going underneath the harmony. Harmony for the sake of it is not important.
Okay, but if Hitler wasn't filled and followed by sycophants and people patting him on his back and telling him that his doctrines were correct, and someone spoke to him in an open level of discourse, rather than, harboring his own beliefs and creating an agenda in the dark, literally in prison when he wrote Mein Kampf. Rather than doing that, don't you think it's good to come together as a community and find common ground?
So there's two
and
points
work
there.
together?
There's 2 points. Is there a good reason to have dialogue with people that disagree with you? Absolutely. Is every person, you give me the Hitler example, is every person a rational person that only operates on rational inputs and outputs? Absolutely not. That's the point. So you're telling me...
Would you say I'm rational? Right?
no, you're a mixture, just like me. Like we're a mixture of rational,
but-
emotional,
right.
experience.
Would
You know what I
say
mean? It's just
that
like,
if people like me and you came together, and probably most people here,
yeah, sure.
with a certain level of understanding, a certain level of respect,
Mm-hmm.
came together, all in the guise of a better good, looking
Yeah,
forward
sure.
to a better future. Do you not think it's good to have an understanding that people can kind of...
No, we could have an understanding, but do we need to agree? That's the
We don't
point.
need- I'm not trying to change your belief system.
Fantastic. So all I'm telling you is,
Right.
look, we're having a dialogue right now. You're not a Muslim. I'm a
It's
Muslim.
really hard for people to get their head around
What is hard to get?
afterlife when there's no evidence.
No, that's not true though. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
People, why is Islam the fastest growing religion in the world? It's the fastest growing ideology in the
Maybe I'm
world.
wrong then.
So that's the point. It's like it's not really a hindrance for people. In fact, the majority of people in the world that exist today still believe in a religion, so that means they're not physicalists.
Yeah.
So that means they believe in some form of afterlife, more probably than not. So it's not true that
just
afterlife
think-
has been a hindrance. Maybe it's your
I
hindrance.
just think religion could do more at this point
Yeah,
to
okay.
come together.
That's
all I'm
okay, but that's the point. Is the thing that's worth living? Is the purpose of life just driving towards harmony for the sake of driving towards harmony, or is there something more important?
Well, I think harmony is a great step to world peace.
Well, harmony is only good insofar as we're harmonizing over something that's actually good. If we're harmonizing, let's harmonize. Okay, how about this? If 95% of the world harmonize over killing 5% of the world, is that good harmony?
Not over what they're doing it.
But there's harmony. And there's a great deal of harmony. 95% of the world are harmonized.
Yeah.
That's the point, bro. Yeah, but the point is that harmony for the sake of harmony is not harmony.
Well, we can all agree that's an irrational kind of argument.
What? But that's the argument you're bringing.
In Mongolia, obviously that's not what I'm saying.
Mongolia,
but I'm saying that's where it could lead. Sorry, brothers, we'll go.
Coming from divides, two opposing views, and coming together generally doesn't lead into them creating a group and going and harmonizing and creating. That's
not true. Like people harmonize over evil all the time.
They have a lot of steps to take to come together.
But they do. People harmonize for all sorts of things.
They do, but they harmonize in the way that you're suggesting they might, which is find their own group, right, and double down on the dogma. And the stigma and the prejudice.
But do you not see how you're doubling down on dogma right now?
I'm trying to find common ground. Bro, I have no need to do this.
I know. I'll tell you why you're not doubling down on dogma and not having critical conversation about it. But since you got here, all you've repeated was liberal dogma, and that's fine. But you've never, like, I kept on bringing it up to you. Yeah. You keep telling me harmony, freedom, and maximizing those things is what we should aspire to.
Can we not use your religion in any other way? Is what I'm saying. Is there no way of using any religion other than what the church says it's supposed to be used for, right?
I mean, we don't.
No way of us.
That's not. But that's actually
into somebody who doesn't necessarily want to become fully, devout, but finding inspiration through these great texts.
I mean, you're more than welcome to find inspiration in Islam.
But you see what I'm saying?
No, you're more than welcome to.
People don't want to do that.
No. Look, at the end of the day, as Muslims, we want the best for our fellow, brother and sister in humanity. So if you ask us, should you become a Muslim? Because we believe that, this life is a test, and based on how you do on this test, there will be an afterlife that you will live based on the results of your test. Of course, we'll tell you to become a Muslim. But if you don't want to become a Muslim, that's not my, like, at the end of the day, lakum diya in the Quran is like, to me, my religion,
my religion is mine.
And at the end of the day, I won't face the afterlife that you'll face for your results. I'll face my results.
I'm just saying that.
So the point is, if you want to only be inspired from Islam, and if you only want to take some teachings from Islam, if you want to write about, there's many Orientalists that write about Islam. Some of my own professors, they've studied Islam their whole life. They didn't become Muslim. Yeah. But some of my professors studied Islam and became Muslim from studying it. The point is, you could take from it what you wish. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But if you want to actually assess Islam for what it claims to be, which is a truth claim about this life and the afterlife, it's a warning about what's to come, and it's a guidance of how to live the life that you're in right now.
I appreciate that.
You could take it for what it is.
I will, and I'll take the conversation for what it is.
No, it's lovely having a conversation with you. Yeah, sorry, remind me of your name? Gabriel. Good to meet you. Come back, man. We'll have more conversations about this. Take care. Anyways, so nice conversation.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up. I mean, what do you think about the conversation?
Alhamdulillah, they have liberal prejudice mind, and they try to understand all the views in their point of view. So Alhamdulillah, we have divine reality, and we have the divine book, which is Quran, and obviously our objective truth is Quran.
Yeah, so it's good that, because some people will ask, like, why aren't we getting into the nitty-gritty immediately? It's because we have to unpack these liberal prejudices. So it's okay, look, I want to give the guy credit. He was very, mashallah, open, like he was coming open-minded and humble and open-minded. So mashallah, great conversation, great brother. The issue is that, hopefully that the stuff that we just kind of tried to unpack with his liberal, foundational assumptions, that he will go and take those, reflect upon them, and then come back and start to think, oh, okay, maybe my liberal assumptions aren't correct. What assumptions do you have, and can you support these assumptions with evidence? From there on, inshallah. So anyways, I think that's a good wrap up. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.